What I like to show people is you have to understand why you would want to start protecting your personal credit, why you would want to stop doing things in your own personal name. Most people finance their business off of their own personal credit cards, their own personal savings. They even go and get a home equity loan on their house and use that money for business activity. Okay, that is not the right strategy to do if you want to protect your own personal credit, your good credit. And why would you want to protect it? Because good credit is so valuable and so important. Here is an illustration of what bad credit will cost you. You know, you do a few deals, you get that activity to show up in your own personal name, your FICO score starts to go down, and it starts to cost you more and more and more money to do your next deal, to do anything, to get access to any kind of product. So you could be paying hundreds of dollars more because you aren't managing your own good personal credit. People say, Tom, why do we care about personal credit? Because we're going to learn how to do things in the name of business. Well, we care about good personal credit because there still are so many things that are dependent in this society on us having good personal credit. Here's another great example. Your insurance will cost more if you don't maintain good personal credit. Most people don't know that your premium is now based on your credit score. Why do you think they get your Social Security number on the application? Because they're going to run a credit check on you, and you're going to pay tens of thousands of dollars more than I am if you don't maintain a reasonable credit score. That's why it's important to really understand. In step number 1 of my system, I really drill down into what affects your personal credit and how you can do things to improve it or protect it. My advice to you guys in step number 1 is to do a credit checkup, okay? And the place I recommend you do that is Equifax.com, because you can get a 3-in-1 credit report from Equifax for a very reasonable amount. And you're going to want to see your credit score, you're going to want to see your 3-digit score, and you're going to want to see your report from each of the 3 bureaus, okay? Now, when you start to look at your own personal credit report, you're going to start to learn exactly what it is that affects your personal credit. Let's talk about some of the myths and some of the wives' tales that surround personal credit. Okay, this is what I call the credit pie, okay? And this is as good an illustration. It is not an exact science, but it is as good an illustration of what the recipe is that determines what your credit score is going to be. Now, the first ingredient in the credit pie is actually something called inquiries. What inquiries are, and I'm going to talk about hard inquiries. A soft inquiry is when somebody that you already have a credit account with occasionally checks your credit score. They just want to see if you're still maintaining good credit. Now, why? Why would they want to see if you're still maintaining good credit if they already have an account set up with you? Because they are allowed by law in their little bylaws to increase your interest rate if you do not continue to maintain good credit. So they have a very vested interest in checking up on you and seeing if you still have a good credit score. So once you get credit, that's not the end of it. You don't just walk away and forget about it. You have to continually be vigilant and maintain a good credit score. Now, inquiries, in my opinion, are the thing that affects you the least, and they're the easiest thing to get removed from your personal credit report. So inquiries do not have the kind of huge damage to people's credit report that some people think, but they are an issue, and the good news is they can easily be removed. Okay? The next ingredient in the credit pie is credit history. What does that mean? That means how long have you been using credit? How long ago did you set up your first credit account? Get a credit card, get a loan of some type. So the longer your credit history, the better your personal credit score is going to be. So that's a very important ingredient in the credit pie. Another big ingredient is available credit. Okay, when I say available credit, I mean if you have 4 personal credit cards, each with a $20,000 limit, How much available credit do you have? I'm not talking about how much you've charged on each card. I'm just talking about what the limit to the card. How much could you? Well, right now, you have $80,000 of available credit. Well, Tom, I have a home equity line of credit. How does that factor in? Guess what? That is revolving credit. Okay, that's credit that you can use and you can pay back at any time. So that goes into the formula. So your home equity line of credit is going to add to this. So you now have $100,000 of available credit in this scenario. So part of the determination of your credit score is going to be based on the fact that you have $100,000 of available credit. The other big piece of the credit pie is, of course, guess what? Debt. It's called debt. Okay? The next big piece is debt. Okay? So how much of this $100,000 are you currently using? I mean, how much revolving balance do you have month after month after month that you're not paying off? So here, if you have maxed out this card, if you have a $10,000 balance on that card, if you have a $5,000 balance on that card, and you've taken all of your home equity, okay, you have, in this scenario, $55,000 of debt, okay? Now, when you are using up to 30% of your available credit, that is helping your credit score. That's a good thing. Because what you have to realize is, as I mentioned, the companies that report your credit are not nonprofit organizations. Well, the system, the FICO system, was created by for-profit companies for one reason. What was it created for? It wasn't created to protect us. It was created for the reason of they wanted to come up with a formula that showed them how to make the most amount of money. Well, guess what part of the formula is? Anybody that maintains some reasonable amount of debt and pays interest every month, that's the best customer for these lenders. That's going to give you a better credit score than somebody who pays off all of their debt month after month after month, never carries a balance, never pays any interest. So it's okay to carry some debt and pay some interest. That doesn't hurt your credit, okay? But where you start to get in trouble, where you start to harm your FICO score, is when you start to exceed 40% debt versus available credit. And you start to take a huge nosedive when you exceed 50%. So in this scenario, now the more debt we carry, the worse, the more harm we're going to do to our FICO score. So $55,000 worth of debt on $100,000 of available credit, we are now sinking our FICO score dollar for dollar in everything we do. The last part of the credit pie is called character. Okay, what would be part of your character?
Good payment.
Exactly. Your payment history. Do you pay on time? Do you have any liens? Do you have any public records, bankruptcy? In fact, nowadays, criminal record. If you have a criminal record, that's in the public record. That is the hardest thing to get removed from your personal credit report, is something that's in the public record, like some type of criminal activity. So you have to realize that anything that you do that affects your character is going to have some kind of effect on your FICO score.
Business lines of credit are your shortcut to money. Everything you need to get new business lines of credit is available in Thomas Kish's training programs. You can use this complete $200,000 business credit building system to buy real estate, invest in the stock market, or start any type of new business.
I've helped so many people change their lives with this amazing shortcut to getting money. Now let me be the guide on your road to financial freedom.